I've been trying to get this thing to go up on YouTube, and I'm going to try one more time. If not, oh well, I'll just upload it later. Bear with me. All right, let's just see if we can get this. If not, you know, when we max out, we max out. Everyone will just be able to catch the, no, it's not letting me. Okay. No worries, everybody. Well, listen, happy Tuesday. Let me throw my gum out. And let's get into it, man. All right, cool. Recording is good. And perfect. There we go. All right, guys. Welcome, welcome. Let's dive into this sucker, man. Let's see. What's up, Sango, man? How you doing, bro? Yeah, this is gonna be recorded. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look for some setups too, bro. Yeah. Cool. You got it, man. How's everybody doing, man? Let's dive into it. All right, hold on. Just finished some dinner. So good, man. I'm doing good, bro. Last week was a pretty good week, man. Finally, it's been a choppy 3 weeks, but last week we finally kicked it into some gear. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, so if you guys are new, I kind of like go through my watch list. If you guys want to take a look at some pairs, man, drop the charts in the chat. We'll take a look at it. You know, there's you know, there's no egos on this call. So if you guys have something I'm not looking at and shoot, I like it, I'll give you some credit. I'll tell you thanks for the hookup, and you know, I'll take the trade. So you know, it's happened before. Whoever, I still don't remember who gave me the gold trade back in January, man. But that thing was just awesome, and you know, we've had a couple other trades from there. So going down my list, AU. For those of you guys in the Discord channel, right? Hold on. Let's see what you got, bro. We'll take a look at what you got. You got AJ. We'll look at AJ, man. I'll be honest though, AJ for me is a little choppy, and I'll kind of give you my 2 cents. We'll take a look at it though. We'll take a look. All right, so AU. Let's start with AU. So last week, what did I throw out? Last week in the Discord, I threw out this AU setup, right? This is what I was looking at. I kind of wanted to see, hold on, let me make that like there, perfect. And there we go, cool. So last week I was looking at AU. Let me see if blue good, is it better? I had 2 areas I was looking at. I was looking at here, and then of course I've been identified the 15-minute candle. Was looking for a schematic in here. I was also looking for a schematic to catch a lower entry. But absolutely, this is the intraday move. So I had a limit order. I split my risk, had half of my risk between the 15, 80% and the 50%. And then I had, and then I was going to wait to see if we caught the entry off of the accumulation. The accumulation happened during London session, so I was sound asleep. I didn't catch it. And ultimately, you know, there was no entry here, so this is where she came. And you can kind of see, we can kind of see where she came into right here. All right. It was the 15-minute candle that I wanted to play off of. And this was that beautiful 15-minute candle right here. So no question about it. This is the candle. Again, I had the risk split between the 50 and the 80. My 80% did not get triggered, but the 50% did. So currently it is sitting, it's not sitting too great. It's only like at a 1 to 9.5. But you know, it is what it is. I'd rather be in a 1 to 9.5 than into a 0 for 0. So we're in that trade. And what I am looking currently for reentry is this. All right. We have, and if we kind of just look at what it's doing, so we have an accumulation. All right. We make a lower time frame leg. We have another accumulation. This is the spring. Come down here and make a new leg here. So that's where I was kind of playing with it. I did try this morning. I did try to take an entry out of this reaccumulation, got clapped. But I told everybody this morning that I was trading with that, this was going to be a low risk for me. I wasn't going full boat, and I'll just keep managing what I have down here. So going forward into tonight, what I'm going to be looking for is, hold on, let me catch this one here. What's this one? This is AU. Yeah, we'll look at AU. What you got, bro? Hold on. Look at you. Let's see. A 1 to 9 out of someone else's. Yeah. No, it is. It is. Bro, wait. Sango, wait till we get to EU, bro. Because EU, I'll be honest, like I may not have to take another trade this month between EU and AU and NU. Andy, where was my stop loss? Yeah. Here, I'll kind of go through it. Can you tell me why the dollar is so weak in the last half? The dollar's been weak for the last year, bro. Dollar's been weak for the last year. If you haven't looked real quick, well, my bad. I guess we didn't go into the dollar. So for me, the right. So you can see my alert.
Oh yeah.
My alert. Hold on. Let's see. There we go, bro. Let's mute these people.
Yeah, bro. I trade.
There we go, bro. There we go. So for me, this alert, you can see what it says, death to the dollar. When that alert goes off, which I'm pretty sure we're going to break, yeah, we're going down. You missed EU, bro. Oh, no, bro. EU is the one trade you didn't want to miss, bro. Yeah, I mean, we're bearish. Without a doubt, we're bearish on DXY. Like if we just look at it from an intraday perspective, let me go up to the 1 hour here. Hold on. I am on the 1 hour. Let me go to the 4 hour. Okay. So from an intraday perspective, what do we have? Well, we had our leg, right? Come down in here to here. So we were unable to break structure here. And the reason we weren't, like I was actually looking at this 3-day, just going to recap, looking at this 3-day candle, and you could see we tapped right into it and then rejected. So, where are the orders and who's in control? Well, for me, the shorts are in control, man. Bears are taking this. Look at the small accumulation, look at the small reaccumulation versus the redistribution here. More importantly, just bounce up to a weekly. What do you see on the weekly? Because for me, I see a weekly distribution. We break structure, we come back to mitigate, and now we're going to take out this low. So, and then next stop is down here. So that's what I feel like the dollar's doing, without a doubt. No questions asked. Like I'm bearish on it. I've been bearish on it for a very long time. And going to what we're seeing currently, yeah, like I'm 100% convinced that when I wake up tomorrow morning, we will be below this low. And that bodes well because I'm in an EU buy, and that's my next take profit is that low. So that's what I'm looking up for that. Show them the meme you made. Where is it, bro? Where is it? Hold on. Where'd you put it? I gotta find it. I need to find it. Yeah, send it to me in the Discord, bro. I'll put it up. There you go. Hold on. Here you go. Here's higher time frame. Here's lower time frame. Yep. You could even do that with order flow, man. You can do that with structure and order flow. So yeah, cool, man. No worries. So let's get back to AU. So AU for me, and Andy, to answer your question, like where I mean, it was just, this is how I played it. So coming into the 15-minute, right? Coming into the 15-minute, where I had you could see my stop loss here. I had my stop loss at the bottom of this wick, and the reason I did was if that got clapped, my 80% was going to get filled. So like if we just go lower time frame, here, let's go into the 1 minute. So lower time frame, you can see, what do we have here, right? This is your reaccumulation with your accumulation here. So how I wanted to play it was my stop loss on the 50% was here. You could see where the 50% entry is. Actually, no, that's not the 50%. Hold on. That's the new, that's where I'm trying to get an entry now. But wait, where is, give me a sec. Where is my 50%? Here it goes. Okay. Let me, yep, thanks, bro. Let me go down here. Okay, cool. So you can see what I ended up doing was, here's the 50, here's the 80, right? So what I ended up doing was my 50% entry. I put a stop loss there. And then I have my 80 entry here that went here. So my stop loss was just a little lower. I put it in to at least kind of cover some of this imbalance, just to mitigate some of the risk. If I got stopped out on the 50, then my 80% was going to take the entry. So that's how I ended up just kind of putting in my my limit order to kind of make sense of it. To play the 50 all the way down to here didn't make sense. Like I didn't want to do that. Yeah. So I just split it. I knew I was going to split it, and what I did was this. So just to kind of give you guys my thought and how I decided to trade this. Obviously, it's a reaccumulation, right? We understand that this is a reaccumulation. We understand that price. Is going to either respect this intraday move or it's not. And if it doesn't, then all of this work went to crap. So how I did it was this. Let's just say you're trading a 100K account, you're going to risk 0.25%, so $250, right? So what I did was $125 of this, or 1/8 of a percent, I was going to save in case I was up for the schematic. The remaining $125, right? What I was going to do was I was going to split it between two entries, right? So essentially what I did was I just did, instead of being, an odd number like $68.50, what I did was I just threw a little more than 125. I threw $65 on the 50% entry, $65 off the 80% entry, if I was going to trade it off the 100K account. So that's how I ended up doing it. Split the entry off of this and wait for the schematic to get a tighter entry. That way I had some equity available to trade that. Obviously you could see, like, this came in during London session. This came in, it triggered right at 6 a.m. By the time I woke up, we were already retesting the spring. So I didn't get into another entry off of it. All right. Yeah. And again, like, if you're going to split it, just split it. You know what I mean? Like, find, and you'll see, like, when I talk about what I'm going to do tonight, what I'm looking at with AU, you'll see like what I mean by splitting it. And we've definitely got a really nice movement out of it. Going to where we currently are sitting at, this low is maintaining lower time frame structure at this point, right? So what I like is, the 103-minute candle is the most voluminous candle for me right here, right? So 50 and 80% of that. And you can see if we come down to the 15-minute in here, it's the 15-minute open, right? So let's just dive in and take a look at what happened, right? So coming into this, we can see that this last 1-minute candle push down gets mitigated by this wick. So my 50% entry, my stop loss is right here. My 80% entry, okay, my stop loss is going to be here. So if the 51 gets clapped, the 80 gets activated, and we'll play off of that. Okay, that's how I'm going to play this. I am going to throw risk at it tonight. Why are you looking at that new POI for reentry? What, that new POI? What do you mean? Like, why am I looking in this area? Because it's what's maintaining the lower time frame structure, right? I mean, we have, right? Here's our leg, right? Here's our leg. So this is what's maintaining structure. So what happened in here? Well, we have a schematic, right? I mean, let's zoom in on it, right? We have a schematic that printed. There's our schematic. So we have a climax, a test, a test, a test in B, and then a spring, right? So now what we're looking for is the test of the spring, right? We want price to come back and mitigate out of here. So That's what I'm looking at doing with AU. Is the live session going to be, is this live? Yeah. I'm gonna upload it. I'll upload it, bro. Yeah. So this is where I'm going to be tackling my next AU attempt. Okay, this is my next AU attempt. So you can kind of see off the 50, it's a 7.7. Off the 80, it's a 5.5. I'll set this before I go to bed and then kind of play off of it. We'll see if we can get that entry sometime during London, New York session. All right. I did try this morning to take a buy out of here, got clapped, no big deal. It is what it is. I kind of figured I was going to get clapped on it but no big deal. We had a really nice clean schematic at a micro in here, and then price did what I wanted it to do, right? If it's going to take my stop loss, just take my damn stop loss. And that's what it did. Boom. Dropped right through, clapped me out. And then, from there, we're just kind of trading down. So, but AU for me is pretty clean. Like I said, if you've got, this is where I'm looking. It's 50% of the 103, which is the 15 and the 12-minute open, and then 80% of the 103. So why do you think why? Well, because one, we were buying from highs, right? I was perfectly fine attempting to buy from up here because, and that's why I did a reduced risk, right? This wasn't full risk for me. I would rather throw some money at this, and if we continued up, great. And if not, that's fine. Take my first stop loss, and then this is my next area I'm going to wait for a buy at. You have to, if you're bullish on all time frames, and order flow is bullish, the first place you got to take the buy from is the order flow, and this was the order flow. So plus we had a schematic, so I was okay taking it. If I were to do this again, I'd still play it the same way. I'd still take the buy out of there, especially coming into New York session. Like we coming into it, this was perfect. Like we didn't make a new high because that would have invalidated the trade for me. And then we gave a push down, so it was fine. One of the things you really have to start looking at is, when you're getting into these continuation moves, the time of day that it's coming in. So this was right at New York Open, which is perfect, so, I'm not, I'll tell you right now, like if you think that I'm 100% accurate trader, I'm not. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit that I know every time I get into a trade, I'm going to lose 5 out of 10 trades. I know I'm losing 50% of every trade I'm taking. So, once you understand that, trading becomes very less stressful and very easy because you're not afraid to take the loss. You can't take the loss if you don't try the, attempt the trade. So there was nothing I would have done differently with this other than the fact that, other than the fact that I probably, and I know the guys I trade with, I told you guys that, the last 3 weeks, Thursdays have been the most profitable days, right? Those Thursdays are where we're getting the best entries. So, and most of you guys know that I don't even look for trades anymore on Sundays and Mondays. So Tuesdays are slowly coming into that fixture because the last couple of weeks, Tuesdays just kind of been horrible. There's no real entry that's really given me, the wow factor to say, man, yeah, Tuesday's it. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the attempt, like I said, for me, I lost AU and I lost EU. EU is the same kind of setup. So I was down 0.3%, right? 0.3% is what I was down for today. But from last week's carryovers, I'm up, I think it's like 12.5%. So yeah, this number right here doesn't mean diddly squat to me. So yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So AU, this is what I'm looking at. It's pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Now, I know somebody had an AU. What'd you have? Let's see. Okay, AJ. We'll get to AJ later. All right. So you're looking for a buy out of here. On the 1 hour. Okay, yeah, same spot. I got you. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, good play, man. Good play. Yep, absolutely, dude. And of course, like targets, when we're talking about targets, like where am I looking to take this sucker? Well, I'm definitely going to work a hedge in. I'll tell you that when we get up to it. So I'm going to work a hedge into into this. There's a 5-minute schematic up here that I've been holding on to for a long time. So when we get up there, I'll work a hedge in, and then ultimately you can see I got 50 and 80 marked off. That's where I'm going to be looking to work another hedge in. And I believe that's the weekly candle. Yeah, it's the weekly. Yep. So when we get up into this weekly, right? And once, I'll tell you right now, if we can blast through that weekly, just look at it. If we blast through this weekly, there ain't nothing holding us back until we get up here. So I know I've been talking about it for a while. This is why I'm pretty adamant about getting into some decent trades on AU, because we're potentially talking about 1,000 pip run from like where we got in to where, I mean, that's 1,500 pips from that low. So do I have an entry on AJ? No, I don't have an entry on AJ, bro. Nope. Can you guys hear me? Am I back on? Hold on. Let's see. All right, cool. Yeah, Zoom bounced me out for some reason, so no worries. We'll see how this goes. Okay, cool. All right, so I don't know where I left off, but yeah, I talked about I'm looking for Corsair. Give me one sec, guys. Hold on. There we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. All good, all good. All right, cool. All right, just making sure. All right. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for this. Like you could see 50 and 80 is where I'm going to be looking to hedge it into. And obviously if we break through this weekly candle, there ain't nothing holding us back for a very long time, right? I mean, here's where we're coming. So we're talking that's a 1,500 pip move from where we're currently at. All right. 1,500 pips is what I'm definitely going to be looking for. So all of my AU buys, that's the overall target. Okay. That's where I'm looking to take this sucker to. So we'll see how it ends up playing out. All right. Yeah. So that's EU, or I'm sorry, that's AU. Just going to sit here, wait for it. Come on. There we go. All right, hold on, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to just swap over back to my Wi-Fi out of my hotspot. Let's see if this comes open. All right, guys. Am I still here? You guys still have me? Perfect. Okay. There we go. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Yeah. Okay, cool. Give me one sec. I'm just all right. I connected back to my Wi-Fi, so bear with me here. Hold on. Let me do this. Got that there, that there. Cool. And then let me make sure my Wi-Fi is good to go. All right. Okay. All right. So we're back. We're back. Let me. Bro, I got the worst damn internet in the world, man. Let me tell you. All right. Cool. All right. What was the AU target on the weekly? So Yeah. Ideally, I'm expecting us to get a reaction from like the 50 or the 80 of the weekly candle. So maybe a push up that gives us another bounce down. But ultimately, my overall targets, like I mean, you could just see how this is looking when we take out this high. This is the next area I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for us to get in there, and that's roughly a 1,500 pip move from where we're currently at, right? Where we're currently at, that's 1,600 pips. So this is definitely something I'm going to be looking at, holding portions of my AU buys up into this area. You live off your phone hotspot? Yeah, no, bro. There's no way I can. There's no way I can do that. Yeah, I'd lose my mind. I lose my mind when my internet starts going slow anyway. So, but yeah, so that's AU. All right, AU is pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, we're bullish now. I'm going to be looking for a play out of this schematic to go higher. All right, ideally London or New York session is where I want to take the entry from. Okay. Moving on over, Chef JPY. Listen, uh, Chef JPY is well, long term. We talked about the reaccumulation that just never came back to test out of anything. This thing has just been moving. I've been trying to catch re-entries for a while. You can kind of see me just looking for re-entries. We just haven't had any pullbacks. So currently, this is what's maintaining lower time frame low right here. This is the area I'd be looking for buys out of this area here or this area here. If we come down in here, we build a schematic, right? I need a schematic. Okay. I'm not going to complain about Chef JPY because I'm still holding partials from this buy I'm still holding partials from this buy down here. So this thing was 370 pips in profit. I mean, what the hell is it at? It's like at a almost a 1 to 200. Yeah, it's a 1 to 185. Well, actually, I think it did break 1 to 200. Hold on. So I've partialed out. I mean, I'm only holding a small amount of volume. Yeah. Hold on. So at the max, right? At the max, it hit 400 pips. So we were, a 1 to 200 is what it was. I'm still holding from that schematic out of there. And, I've got a small partial position. I've got one of my 4 positions just left on it. And I'm not planning on closing it. I'm just going to be taking this higher. So Chef JPY, if we do get the pullback into either of these two areas, I'm going to be looking for lower time frame confirmations to take this higher. Okay. And ideally, where I want to take this, you can see we're filling in the weekly imbalance right now. Right, we're filling in this weekly imbalance, and ultimately, I want us to trade up into this weekly candle right up here. So this is the distribution right here. This is the distribution that I want us to get into. This is the supply point. Okay, so we have a very, very long way. I have no problem holding this because that's another 1,100 pips to get up there. So yeah, it seems like I'm probably swinging these, and I'll tell you, like, I don't mind swing trading these. The buy that I caught down in here, I think, was something like a 1.5 pip stop loss. Actually, no, I take it back. It was like 3 pip stop loss with the spread. 2 pip, yeah. So it was a 2 pip stop loss down here. So I have no problem holding these for a while and just keep playing it off. So Chef JPY, right now, this is what's maintaining lower time frame. If we come into those two areas, I'm going to play it. EJ, same thing. EJ, everyone except for Sango is in this buy still, and this thing hit 400 pips. So we're currently sitting at 480 pips in profit from March 25th. It's a 1 to 62. There's no reason whatsoever for me to close this trade. Like I said weeks ago, that I've taken the partials I'm going to take. At this point, I'm just going to let it ride out. What I'm personally looking at is, we never tested out of like the reaccumulation. This thing just kept going, pumping. What I am looking at right now is absolutely nothing. You can see my notes. So I was waiting for the new high, right? I did want to play for something out of this schematic, but we never got into it. All we really did was, this is the slingshot. We mitigated the slingshot and then took off. And then just look at this ugly ass price action. So not a lot that I want to play with, right? So for me, if it's not clean, I don't even bother with it. And I'll wait. I have my alerts still down here. If we do come down to it, I'll give it a look-see, but I'm not really interested in EJ for any more buys until we get some definitive price action to tell me like where we're going to go with it. Okay. Yeah, bro. So for those of you that don't know, so Sango was in this trade with all of us, and he got hit break even because he moved his stop loss too soon. So the rest of us are up 480 pips, but yeah, no worries, bro. Yeah, I mean, it was a good trade. It came into the extreme. This was a really nice trade. So, yeah, the glorious C trader, man. Yeah, the only thing about this trade was on FTMO. It sucks because on FTMO I had to close out because they wouldn't let me hold this trade over the weekend. So just on my personal account, I have this trade open. So the trailing stop, yeah, bro, the trailing stop got you, man. Trailing stop got you. Yeah. Oh, I know. EA was phenomenal too, bro, and GA. Don't forget GA. GA off the extreme. GA gave us a 1-100. So that's EJ. Again, nothing really that I'm going to play off of right now in the short term. I'm still watching it. I'm still bullish on this damn thing. I've been bullish on this thing for a very long time. So, yeah. So the other thing I'm holding. So these are all the active trades I'm in. The other thing I'm holding is EA. Do you have accounts with funding? No, I don't have funding talent, man. Yeah, I don't have accounts with funding talent. I didn't like their markup. The only two prop firms I trade for right now are FTMO and the prop trading firm. That's who I use, the prop trading. So EU, if anybody was on Zach McDonald's session, I think yesterday, I covered this. This is something that we took Thursday during New York session. Yeah. If you have questions, reach out to Sango. He's in the Aporia group. Sango is the resident prop trading guru. He's done analysis on everything, so he'll give you the skinny on all of it. So EU, listen, EU is pretty simple, right? I mean, we've been talking about the bullishness on EU. It came into the extreme of the leg, the higher time frame leg, missed our, not even close to our entry. And then from there has just been blasting off. In reality, the only pullback, and you could see like we were waiting, just reaccumulation, just no entries were able, like we weren't able to catch anything on EU until Thursday. So Thursday was the magic day, and I would definitely look back at your journals and see what days you're really taking some great entries. And for me, it's Thursdays all of a sudden. But we had this high, and ultimately we broke that high here. So this maintained structure. Well, how did we get to that high? It was out of this slingshot, right? This reaccumulation. So as price came in during New York session, built a very nice type 1 schematic, right? Very nice type 1 schematic. I was unable to take an entry off the schematic, right? Simply because we never broke structure, right? We never broke structure. So, seeing what was happening inside of this during New York session, I went deeper. I started to look at what happened. I found this spring candle. You could see 80% of that candle is what I had marked. And when I came lower time frame, you kind of could see what's going on. So here's your spring, right? That's your spring. Well, what happens here? We had a attempted distribution into a reaccumulation, right? So as price reaccumulates, causes that push higher. What I wanted to see was I needed to see a refrigerator worthy, picture perfect schematic, right? That's what I needed to see. So for those of you that don't have the seconds time frame, this is what a fractal accumulation looks like right here. right? What I ended up doing was I took it off the 15-second. And I know a couple of other guys that took it off the 15-second. This was the entry. Really clean schematic, right? Really clean schematic. Now, I took it off the 15-second candle, right? Took 50%. This was the entry. Stop loss was below this wick. I didn't have the balls yet to take it off the 1 second, but there's your 1 second schematic, right? 1, 2, 3 drives, your spring. This actually comes into and I'll show you guys what the 1 second look like. Hold on. This actually comes into the 1 second schematic, right? So here you go. So this is what a 1 second schematic looks like, right? You have, I'll draw it out for you. There's your schematic. Here's your SC, there's your ST, ST, and here's your spring, right? So what we were looking for was mitigation out of here, right? That would have been the entry stop loss at this low. And you can kind of see where this thing ended up coming into was right here, right? Tapped right into it. Never broke the low, right? Never broke the low. You had, what do we have? I think you had a 0.1 pipette, 1.1 pipette breathing room. So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't give my trades breathing room. Like my stop loss is there because if it hits that stop loss, it invalidates the trade. So currently this trade is sitting at a, hold on, let's see. Currently this trade is at this morning's high. It was at a 1 to 131. So that's why I was saying last week was just a phenomenal week because I'm pretty, 1 to 100 trade is phenomenal for the month for me. This one is pretty good. Like I don't need to do anything else. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. Sorry, hold on. Let me. Hold on. The dogs are going crazy. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. Had to get rid of the dogs, man. All right. So, yeah, this is at a 1 to 131. I didn't throw much into it. I threw $125 risk. And the reason I did a reduced risk is because we didn't break structure here out of the schematic, right? But I was still pretty confident in the move and I needed to see a picture perfect entry. We got it, took the entry. How I managed it pretty simply was this. Took partials, partial out, partial often, right? So first partials was taken right here. We got that. That was a 1 to 10. We cleared this high right here. Right before, actually, it wasn't even there. It was market closed. I took partials at 21.50, which was right in here. Market closed on Friday, and that's where I took my second partials. My third partials that I closed out was right up here at 22.20, nice 20 level, was in here. And you can kind of see this is where I attempted a buy this morning, right? I attempted a buy out of here this morning. You can see the reaccumulation, right? Reaccumulation, we have a schematic here with the spring. Price ends up getting an entry. This is where it triggered right in here. It did give a move. I honestly was at the airport picking up my wife, so I didn't have a chance to even like reduce my risk. So I ended up getting stopped out, and you can see it's kind of just gone to crap from there. So nothing really for me to play off of on EU right now. If this continues to go higher, I don't care. I think this stop loss here was like 3 pips, and the one down there was like a pip and a half. So let this go up. I'm still making money off of it, so I don't mind. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Wait, let's see. You got hit by one pipette. Same thing. Okay, so it depends on so on 3 of my accounts, right? So my FTMO account, I survived it. On my personal account, I survived it. My prop trading account, I did not. I emailed them. I've taken screenshots, and I know they're going to try and tell me that it was their liquidity provider that stopped me out, but it's crap. So yeah, that entry should not have been stopped out because price never actually goes. And on my screenshot of my broker, like where the position is, the trade never actually goes below that price point. So in a buy, there is no manipulation from that side. So if I would definitely document it and contact your broker, because at the very minimum, I know they're not going to honor like where it's at now, but at least they'll take away the stop loss. And I know FTMO is pretty good about that. I've done it before where I'm like, listen, it's not my fault that your liquidity provider's a tool, and they reversed a stop loss that hit on me. Um, yeah. Do you leave TP open on one? Yeah. I only set 2 TP. So I have, like the way my positions are situated, I have 4 entries, right? 4 positions. And what I do is my first position, um, right here was 10% because we're bullish on all time frames. I closed out 10% of total volume. So 4 positions are broken apart between 10%, then I have 25, then I have 25, right? Um, and then I have a 40% position. So, realistically, if I'm using if it's 10 lots, so this will be a 1 lot, this is 2.5, this is 2.5, and then this is 4. So when we come here, this 10 lot gets closed out. When we came up here, I closed out 25, which is here. So my third one, I actually kept, what I did was I just closed half of this third order, and then I have this full volume still going. So that's how I've been kind of managing it. But as far as EU goes, like currently, it's pretty simple, right? Like we have this is what's maintaining lower time frame structure right now. Um, I am and I'm not interested in really trying to do anything with it right now. But if we do come into this area, because this is ultimately the slingshot, small time frame accumulation that knocked us above the previous high. If we come in there and again, same thing like down here, and I get a refrigerator worthy schematic printed in there, guess what? I'll take it from there. If not, I want us to trade back down into this area, but truth be told, I'm okay with it. Just keep going up. Like I don't really need it to come down into this area. The key area for me for EU, much like DXY, is this area right here, right? The, if on DXY, when that breaks, it's death to the dollar. When we take this high, yeah, we are, because look at it from this perspective, right? Look at what we've done. Um, we ultimately will invalidate the previous intraday high. So we're already bullish from this break. This is the last point of supply until we get up into this. So that's what I want. I want us to power up, then maybe get a pullback to go higher. That's ultimately what I'm looking for. So I'm only looking at buys. I'm not trying to counter trend this at all. If the breakout structure didn't happen, how did you trust it? It will go your way. 1 to 30. Yeah, I know, bro. How did I trust it? Well, because we're bullish, right? We're bullish. So, one of the things like you have to understand is does a schematic need to break structure in order for it to properly accumulate and move in the directional, bias that you're accepting? No, it doesn't need a break structure. Does it need a break structure for me to take an entry? Yes, it does. What happens if it doesn't break structure? Well, then I need to figure out a reason to get into it. And my reason was this right here. Okay. The other thing you got to look at is, so let's just look at it from this 1 hour, right? Okay. From the 1 hour, did it break structure? No, but I guarantee you go to the line chart, she broke structure, right? She broke structure on the line chart. So, you just got to make sure that you have the right confirmations to take the entry. And I told myself that morning to everybody that I was trading with, I had said that, I needed to see a schematic in that area. If I saw a schematic, I would take it. And that's what we did. All right. So EU, again, it was a pretty simple play. We're looking for buys. Just look at what's happened since, I would say, since we came into the daily back in March 30th, right? EU has never once violated the lower time frame structure. Okay. Not once have we violated lower time frame structure. So you got to keep buying off the lower time frame. So right now, currently, this is what's maintaining. This right here is what's maintaining lower time frame. All right. So, ultimately anything, and that's why I'm looking in this area right here, simply because this was the reaccumulation that broke structure, right? You could see it right here. This is your reaccumulation here that gave you the continuation move. So if we come in there, I'll take a look at it. But like I said, I'm not very I'm not going to be pushing for EU to come lower just because, every 1.3 pips, I'm making money as we go higher. So that's how I'm looking at EU. All right. Moving on, NU, right? NU again, same thing like AU. NU was pretty simple, right? We had the confirmed reaccumulation, right? Especially since we violated the slingshot, right? This slingshot here that caused the break, we violated it here. So as soon as we broke the lows, there was absolutely no reason for us to trade above this high. And when we did that, for me, jump across the creek, break of structure confirmed, which equals a big old reaccumulation to me, right? So the two areas, that again, that I was looking at, I shared this, I think Monday or Tuesday, it's just about patience, waiting on it. I wanted to see us trade into this reaccumulation. Well, we got a schematic, and when we made the spring, we just never came back up to break structure. So no entry, right? There was no entry for me to take. And then, of course, same candle, 15-minute candles, what I played off of right here. And we got a really nice reaction. At one point, I was up over 120 pips on it. So, this is moving pretty nicely. We did get a schematic in here, did not test out of it. So, I've identified the 201-minute candle is what I like. You can see it right there. Very nice candle. I don't believe we're going to get to it until we do this, until we break this high, right? When we break this high, this now becomes the intraday extreme. So this would be the play to do that, right? That's kind of what I'm waiting for and looking for. Yeah. The going into like currently what I'm looking for on it, well, I mean, just like AU, right? This is lower time frame structure. All right. We really don't have, this is the slingshot I was kind of looking at, for an entry out of. Really didn't give me a confirmation for an entry. So at this point, I want us to trade down potentially into this area here. All right. This area here, I'm not really convinced. I don't like the price action that happened in there. So NU, like I'm just gonna, when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna see where we're at. I'm gonna see, if we're like down here, this is where I'm gonna wait for a schematic. Give me a schematic here and I'll buy it up out of that area. Okay. But this is, I don't want it to trade below here. Okay. There was, what was it? This was the 13th. So this was Thursday. Thursday, I was actually looking for a re-entry out of here and it just missed. So what would you need in that reaccumulation in NU for an entry there? What would I need for out of this? What would I need? So honestly, like what I wanted to see was I wanted to see us get a fractal just because by the time this rolled in here, it was already towards midday my time, like lunchtime. So you can see we got a, if we go to the 1 minute, you'll see what she did. She got, here it is right here. So she started to build a schematic, right? Just it fell apart. You could have, honestly, like you could have taken the entry right off of. So here's your reaccumulation here. So we were talking maybe like the somewhere between the 15 and 20-minute candle. Hold on. 20-minute candle would have been it right there. Yeah. This 20-minute candle, maybe, let's see, hold on, maybe the 21. Let's just see what the 21 looks like. 19. 18 now, 20 minutes where it's at. Ooh, the 18. 18's where it's at. So I mean, if you ideally, if I was home and watching this, I probably would have taken an entry out of this. What are we talking about? 50% here. Hold on, let's see. We're talking 2.5 pips. Come on now. Yeah, I would have taken an entry out of here if I was home. I just wasn't home when this happened. So we're talking 2.4 pips. Let me just see. So no, I mean, nobody has any questions why this is the candle, right? You know, this is the candle without a doubt. 18 minute, man, 18 minutes where it's at. So I would have taken out of that 18 minute. You even had you even have a nice little micro in there as well. Hold on, give me a sec. Let me just see where did she come into there? Let's see. Oh, this son of a gun, bro. She missed it. Yeah, she missed it. What did it miss by out of that 50%? It missed it by 0.2 pipettes. So 0.2 pipettes, and when we get this movement here, yeah, that order would be deleted. Like I wouldn't be looking for that entry anymore. Hold on, let's see. Do I ever take an entry off the open? I do. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you can. I mean, you could have realistically, I mean, you potentially could have taken it out of that 18. What are we talking about here? We're talking, yeah, we're talking 4.7 pips. So you could have, yeah. For me, I need to be under 6 pips. If I'm under 6 pips, I'll take it. So, sometimes you get a little greedy though. I'll be the first one to admit it. Like sometimes like I'll look and I'm like, yeah, I know it can come into the 50. But you know, yeah, I mean you would have probably hit break even, but you could have, I mean, at one point, let's see, what was this at? This was at a 1 to 3.5. So not enough for me to take partials or anything out of it, but at least go to break even and probably hit break even. So yeah. Hold on, let's see. Can you talk a bit, explain your choice of time frame for a spring candle? Some of them have you just, yeah, Matt, just find the most voluminous candle. You know, it's the most voluminous candle. You just gotta, so like the reason I went to like the I said 15 to 20 minute is because when we were looking at the 5 minute here, right? Like you can see it's this move, right? So the sell starts here and the push is here. So like I just do a little math. I'm like, I add up, okay, that's why I said, well, I see 4 candles here. So it's got to be around the 20 minute. So, lo and behold, when we get, when I go to the 20 minute, all right, well, there's a candle, and then I kind of just bounce around. I'm like, can I find something better? Like the 18 minute, yeah, that's crap. But that, I'm sorry, the 19 minute, but that 18 minutes, the full volume candle. So that's what I look for, same thing, like, where are we? What's the spring candle that I found? Like, so the 201, right? So for me, out of this schematic, right? I know that the push starts here and it's a down push. So I want to find the candle that has all that volume. And I just start playing around. So I'm like, all right, so if I go to the 120, where am I at? Okay, so now I can see it's 2 candles, right? I could see it's 2 candles. So, all right, let's go to the 200. All right, well, we got a 200-minute candle, and you just start going up. Like, what's the 205 look like? All right, 205 looks pretty good as well. What's the 210 look like? And you can just start playing off of it. I mean, even that 210 looks pretty nice. All of them in the 200 is what I found. I personally like the 201, right? 201 had no wick on the bottom. So, and that just tells me, like, when I don't see a wick on the bottom, it tells me they initiated the sell from up here. They stopped and put the buy in right here. So this is where the market shifted, and that's where they took off from. So yeah. It's just find the most voluminous candidate. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, I mean, you'll see like we'll be bouncing through these time frames, and sometimes it'll take me a minute or two to find where I'm looking for. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Good job, man. Thanks. Yeah. When do these usually get posted on YouTube? Like when it's done converting by Zoom, and then I upload it. So depending on how long it takes, if it gets done before I go to bed, I'll upload it before I go to bed. If not, I'll do it first thing in the morning when I wake up. Yeah, yep, yeah. So, and you said the 151 on here? Oh, yeah, but I like the 200s, man. I like the 200s. Yeah, that 201 really is what I like, so but yeah, find the candle, man. I mean, we've definitely found some crazy candles and they've paid off. Yeah, definitely, you know, it's all about the volume of the candle, and you find the full volume candle, you can play off of it. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I've got active, right? So like I said this morning to the guys I'm trading with, like I'm not looking to add too much to my positions. I'm pretty happy with what I'm holding and where they're at. Now pending order wise, I mean UCAD's UCAD. Listen, I personally, I've got the limit order in on UCAD. I don't envision this happening anytime soon, right? She's sitting up here. I mean, we're almost, I think it's like 1,000 pips now. What are we at? Let's see. So we are, oh no, we're only 600 pips from my entry. So, this is going to be a long wait, right? I mean, it took 41 days for us to make a new low. So envision another 40 to 50 days for sure, her to come all the way back up. So I am not interested in trying to buy UCAD. Done that, tried it. We tried it in here. It was a bunch of break evens. So I'm not worried about UCAD, but I do have that limit order still pending. Gold. So I am interested in gold. All right. Um, do I see a distribution schematic in the making on gold? What time frame? What time frame? On the 4 hour. Do I see it on the 4 hour? Hold on. No, I don't see a distro on the 4 hour, man. No. What I do see, what I do see is exactly what I've been talking about for months. I think since like November, right? This is the high. We pushed in. So you could see we're coming for this 4 hour. That's where we're coming. Um, a lot of work has been put into gold, and for those of you, I know there's a couple of people, that I know Kevin probably still holding this damn thing. So there's a couple of people that caught it off the intraday extreme down here. It's currently at a 1 to 179. um you know Actually it's even higher than that now, but what I'm personally looking at, I'm looking to take this higher. And once ideally what I'd like to do is for this to break this high. So if this can break this line right here, it's going to invalidate supply over here, and then where I want to target is out of here. All right. Obviously this is potentially an area where I'd be looking for a buy, but I do have a limit order set down here, and the reason I have that limit order is this is what's maintaining lower time frame structure. And if we come down into it, if we come down to the 5 minute, you'll kind of see what happened in here, right? We have a lower time frame schematic in the 5 minute, right? Just walk it down. You'll get into the 4 minute. You should already start to see the schematic and the spring candle. Go to the 3 minute. For me, the 3 minute is a pretty clean candle, right? Pretty clean candle. Stop loss would be a little larger. So 50% of the 3 minute is sitting right here. You go to the 2 minute now, and the 2 minute is what I kind of like. So 2 minute full volume candle. You could see the 80% is sitting right in here. 1 minute, not the greatest, right? 1 minute's not the greatest, but when we get into the seconds time frame is where it really kind of makes sense, right? So let's go 30-second. And here's what the 30-second looks like. So again, pretty clean schematic, right? Support, climax to an AR, test to a UA, your STB, boom, you get the spring. Now it's very subjective whether or not this mitigated out of anything. So you do have this 30-second candle right here. And then you also have, ultimately this is a reaccumulation on like the 5 second time frame. So I have multiple orders. Like how I have this set up is I have an entry here with the stop loss here. I have another entry here with a stop loss here. And then I have another entry here at the 30-second with the stop loss here. So I just split my risk across all three and, cross my fingers when we get down there. But this is the area that needs to get mitigated, whether or not it's going to be out of this reaccumulation or whether it's going to be down here in this lower end, So yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So I'm pretty excited to wait for this to happen. I haven't traded gold a lot this year just because it's kind of been, well, one, because I was holding that sell for like 3.5 months. Um, and currently what I'm going to be waiting for is just for it to come and give me that pullback down into here. I am not interested in trying to sell it, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to try and sell this thing. I'll just wait for it to come down. This entry right here, on the lowest entry, it's a 8.8 pip stop. And I mean, just getting it to the highs of this high here, it'd be at a 1 to 75. So I'll be pretty happy taking that. So I do have that limit order set down there, and it's just going to wait. It's non-expiring, and make sure it's non-expiring. If I have to wait for a couple of weeks for it, I'll wait for a couple of weeks on it. Okay. All right. So getting into like the main watch list outside of everything else that I'm looking at, I'll tell you right now, ACAD, I'm not very keen on playing anything on ACAD right now. We did play higher time frame. We did play into the extreme, right? This is what maintains the higher time frame. We did play into this area right here. I'm just kind of waiting for some follow through now. So like what I want to see, maybe I got it boxed off in there now. Okay, let's see, 15. I know I had it boxed off somewhere. All right, well, no worries. All right, so we clearly have a type 1 schematic right here. All right, I'm not looking to play off of it yet. What kind of my thought process on this is going to be, I want us to get some more bullish momentum going. So make a new high, figure out how we made that high. That would be my first point of interest. And then this all in here looks pretty evenly traded. So I'm not really going to concern myself. But what I do want to do is I need to make sure that we either invalidate the supply points of this redistribution before I look for any more buys. All right. The one opportunity I wanted to take a buy out of was in the form of the extreme out of this reaccumulation, right? And it gave a schematic, it just never tested back down into it. So at this point, like I'm not looking at ACAD for any near future entries. I'm just going to kind of let it do its thing. It's going to stay on my watch list until it either looks like crap and I'm no longer going to want to trade it, or until it gives me a reason to say, okay, start looking for the buy. All right. On the AJ side, I know someone posted AJ. So you're looking at a 30-minute. Yeah. So my only question is this: like, why get into these trades here? Like, I can understand this trade to some extent, because you do have the schematic here and you did break above here, but like, why get in here? Because this, we never made a new high, right? So we never made a new high. We're kind of just sideways. This is just noise. And all of this, honestly, all of this is just noise to me. Like when we talk about AJ, right? What are some absolutes that I know? Well, I know that intraday time frame, right? I know that this maintains bullishness right here. I know that all of this was just a whole lot of hoopla and shenanigans, right? What I also know is that we have a reaccumulation, right? We had a reaccumulation that caused the break of structure. I was looking for a schematic in here, never really got a schematic, right? I mean, we got one, but it was ugly. And, honestly, I would rather have taken EU or NU or AU instead of this AJ trade. We do have a schematic in here, right? Like you go to the 30-minute, and you could see it here. I mean, it's just ugly. But from there, what have we done? We've done absolutely nothing, right? We haven't priced in a new high, and more likely what we're going to do is this right here. We're going to just do that right there. So if we're going to do that, I'd rather not be in the trade because I don't want to take up my margin for it. You know, something like this, what happened in here on this reaccumulation. So until we start to build some decent order flow, I'm not going to be looking for any more reentries. Now, something I may take into consideration is we pop up and do that. Well, here's our creek. This is the attempted distribution. You know, probably in here on a lower time frame would be an accumulation. If we do price in a new high, when we come back down, this may be an area I look for a buy out of. But we first need to make the new high, right? And at that point, you know, this is what we've got. Like we've got higher low, higher low, higher low, right? So that's kind of how I'm going to be looking at it. But for right now, AJ is just going to sit here and watch. Like I'm not really doing much with it. On the CAD front, CAD I'm looking for buys, right? So I mean, you can kind of just see lower time frame, right? We're just making higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. You know, this thing has just made making higher highs forever, right? So why try to sell this thing? And for me, there's two things I'm looking at. So let's go 15-minute, right? So I mean, this is what's maintaining lower time frame structure, right? Lower time frame structure. This is the leg it pushed. This is an accumulation. Actually, this is an accumulation. This is a reaccumulation up here that caused the move, right? So cause and effect. And where I'm really kind of looking at it, it's not enough for me to put a limit order on. But if we go 1 minute, right? If we go 1 minute, you could see the schematic, right? So we have this right here. Okay, here's our schematic. You know, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 drives, and then we get the breaker structure. So the only thing that sucks is there's really not a definitive candle. Right, I just got 50% of the spring, which lines up here, and then you know it's a 2 and a 3 minute imbalance fill. So you can like look at, you know, there's the imbalance fill on the 2 minute, the 3 minute. It's the same thing like the 4 minute. It all imbalance fill. So I'm looking in that area, but not enough for a limit order. Like what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for a schematic to print in that area. Wouldn't that be this? Yeah. It's the slingshot. Yep. Yeah. That's why it's my number one point of interest. So, but I'm going to need ultimately I'm going to need a schematic in there for me to put risk on. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me just put my AC down. There we go. So now if this area fails, right, then I'm going to need a schematic somewhere in here. You know, there's not enough. There's no confluence. I mean, there's a small accumulation that happens here. Hold on. We'll go right into it. There's a small accumulation that happens here, but not enough for me to put an entry. Like there's not a lot of confluence, right? So we can go, I think 15 seconds is where I found it. Yeah, here's your accumulation. So there's your accumulation, right? Not enough for me, like I said, not enough for me to really go in and say, okay, I'm going to set a limit order off of it. So, you know, for CAD, if we get accumulations coming into the week into these 2 points of interest, yeah, I'll look for buys, you know, and it's warranted. You know, we're bullish on every time frame. So, you know, and if you think about it, before you can get a buy out of the intraday, it's got to invalidate the lower time frame. And for the last couple of weeks, we haven't invalidated the lower time frame. So I do like how we're systematically and it's very organized, this you know, complex pullback. I like that. I like how it's very methodical. And you know, who knows, like we can potentially get something like this into London, get that spring break of structure, take your entry off the test, and we're gone. So CAD is something I'm waiting on. You know, hopefully it waits for me to wake up tomorrow morning. You know, but if not, you know, it is what it is, and I'll just try to catch a reentry on a reaccumulation or something. Going into EA is another one. right? EA is another one. So, I know a lot of people kind of struggled with understanding what EA was doing. Um, I mean, I'll tell you right now, EA is bearish, right? EA is bearish. So, we had a redistribution that pushed in this leg, right? This is the leg. So until we invalidate this, until we trade above that, we're still bearish on the intraday. But what do we have? We have we have bullish order flow, and we're starting to build a lot of orders going into this. So coming into EA, right? Coming into EA, what do we have, right? Well, we had a distribution that ended up walking down and creating a creek. Break a structure, jump of the creek. What is that? That's a reaccumulation, right? So I was looking for entries out of these two areas. It didn't give it to me. And if we kind of just go lower time frame, right? Like get up to the 15-minute, what do we get? Well, price came in, right? Had a high. We made a new high. Well, that new high was taken in by this accumulation. When it pulls back, type 2 accumulation into that accumulation. And now I'm looking to see if we can trade above it. If we can trade above that, I'll be looking for another entry out of this area of demand. So come back down. Let's do the same thing. Build another schematic, fill some orders, and let's take it up. All right. That's ultimately what I'm looking to play on EA. All right. Um, ECAD, I'll tell you what, I don't even know why ECAD's on here. Oh, I know why ECAD's on here. I know why ECAD's on here. So ECAD, I'm really not looking to sell this thing, even though we're massively bullish. The only reason I have ECAD on here is because I've been waiting for over a year for this, and we're finally into this schematic. So you could see 50 and 80% of the schematic, right, of the spring is marked off. When we trade down into it, if I get a schematic, I'm pulling the trigger and I'm taking this up. So that is the only reason that ECAD's on the list. Just because I've been waiting for, this happened March 2020. So February, March 2020. So, we're finally here. This is where I'm going to be waiting. So, definitely I'd be paying attention to this area of demand, because this area caused, you could see what it caused, right? It caused a very, very nice push to the upside. And we'll see what happens after that. Okay. EN is much like EA. We are bearish, but again, coming out of, I talked about this last week, coming out of, failed distributions, a slingshot, that was respected. Ultimately what I wanted to see, I want to see a buy out of our slingshot reaccumulation area. It did give an accumulation, right? It did give an accumulation, no entry. And then what did we not do? EA broke, this one didn't. So there was no other entry for me. So at this point, I just need us to make a new high. We make a new high, and then I'll reset and start looking for my points of interest. But until we make a new high, it's just EN is just sitting on the sideline, right? I'm not going to try to play catch up, and I'm not going to try to prematurely enter into trades on it until we make a new high. So, but this is a pretty clean type 1 schematic, right? This is, ultimately your spring, you've broken structure. It did respect the reaccumulation slingshot area, but we now need to see a move up. If it doesn't, then I want it to come down and come into this schematic right here. All right. This is a pretty nice type 1 in here. So I would be looking for a play out of that. So that's EN. Let's talk about GA. So GA is pretty nice actually as well. We waited, dude. I want to say we waited a month for this, right? What was it? We waited 29 days. We waited 29 days for this finally to break. So, ultimately, what do we have? This is what's maintaining lower time frame structure right now, right? This is the leg currently. So if we come back down into this reaccumulation, the slingshot that caused the boof, I'll be looking for an accumulation there. If not, I want to take an accumulation out of here. If this ends up causing that high and we make a new high, then we just come up, and now this is what's respecting. This is our reaccumulation. We get a schematic in here, take it higher. If not, I want to take it down into that accumulation. So those are the 2 points that I'm going to be looking for. We're either going to get, A, or we're going to get B. And if we get B, we need the new high. If we don't get the new high, I want us to come lower. And it's just honestly, it's just a waiting game. GA, I've been bullish on it since the beginning of the year. I'm continuing to be bullish on it. We respected higher time frame structure. It's honestly, GA was really a really fast moving pair for us at the beginning of the year. And it's honestly, I was really surprised by all of this, how we kind of just lingered and went sideways for a little bit, but it's starting to show some steam. I'm trying to remember. I know last Thursday I back tested GA with a couple of people, and we did find some entries. Where did I look? I think I did it on forex.com. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So there was some potential for entries out of this. I don't even remember what this was last Thursday, so I can't even think of okay. Yeah. So I mean, I back tested. There were a couple entries that we were able to take. Um, yeah, there was a couple entries that on the back test that I missed, but it is what it is. No big deal. No big deal. This one here was a pretty good one right here, but okay. Yeah, I mean, all I could say is just back test. Like when the reason I wanted to back test this was I started to look at GA and I said, okay, wait a minute, what the hell did I miss, right? Because price obviously came and mitigated out of this schematic, and it moved 435 pips. So what did I miss? So when I miss something, I want to go back and I want to figure it out. I want to figure out what I missed, because the next time I see something, I don't want to miss it, right? So that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you is, if you miss a trade, just don't cast it aside and go on to the next thing. Figure out what you missed. You've already got the answer. You know what I mean? Like the chart was here. I already had the answer. I knew what I missed. I just had to find it. Find the answer and back test it. Play it through. That's what we did. We went into replay mode. We played it through. We figured out management side of it, where to take partials. We looked at the time, how long it took to get into these positions and stuff. So yeah, I would definitely recommend back testing it. Yeah, Pound Chef, I got nothing on either. Pound Chef was just the extreme entry. I'm honestly not really looking for much out of Pound Chef until, yeah, I'm honestly not looking at anything at Pound Chef. I am still looking at GJ, right? But this isn't something this week. GJ needs to give us a pullback. So you can kind of see where we're at. This was the schematic. We pushed in, made a new intraday high. So for me, all of this is just noise, and I want us to come either into the slingshot or into the extreme, which is a type 1 schematic. So however long it takes to come back down, I'll wait for it. And these are the areas I'm going to wait for it at. So, and actually, hold on, I think I moved this by accident. Let me put that up there. What do you got on? Yeah, here's the only problem, man, is, I mean, I know I have that same schematic, but I would get into the buy first before you look at the sell. Because we're bullish, we're bullish. Let me ask you, what did this schematic break is the question. Because if it didn't break anything, and in my opinion, it didn't. Like, if you look at G Chef, all we did is we came into the extreme, right? This is the extreme of the leg right here. This is the extreme of the leg. This is your high. This is your next high. This was a reaccumulation, right? So it's a continuation move. This is the leg. And we came into 80% of the H1, 50% of the 30-minute, 4-minute, 3-minute. You have an accumulation here, right? So just look at it this way. Here's your distro. Here's your accumulation. Who has more orders, sellers or buyers? And for me, they filled more buy orders here than they did sell orders here. So when this comes up with a full head of steam, You know, will we see a reaction? I think hopefully, you know, because I want to get into the buy on it, but just not anytime soon yet. Um, I want to see maybe that's the catalyst to give us the pullback and then we go higher. So yeah. Yeah. Like if I agree. I mean, I have the same, you know, I have this that I want to shoot. We wanted to sell this when it happened. It just never gave a you know, a pullback. And I will tell you this, that I am looking for buys out of it, right? I am looking for buys out of it. And, you know, it's one of those things, I just don't want to overextend myself. But if you look at what we did, right, we have broken this high, right? So this high was broken. And so let's just say that we had, hold on, bear with me. So we had this low right here. Give me a sec. Is this third? Okay. We had this low. And because we made this low, right? Because we made this low, this is the new high. Well, then we come in and we print this low, which then makes this high. So this was your break of structure, right? So as long at this point, because we have that break, I am still looking. That's why my alert is down here, right? This is why new high set limit off schematic. Okay, yeah, that's old. Hold on. Look for buys. For me right now, like if we maintain, if we do not trade above here, right? I want us to do this, and I want us to come into this schematic, right? That's where I want us to come to. But we're a ways from that, you know. Now, if we do make a new high, right, then this is going to be point of interest number one, and then this ugly price action in here is going to be number two. So that's why this isn't, to me, this isn't a very clean setup for me. So that's why it's not highly on my top of my list. But I would attempt to get into the buys to hedge into the sell, but I'm pretty confident that this is going to pop up. So best to find schematics that have achieved market structure. Best to find schematics that, yeah. I mean, a schematic, like the idea, think about cause and effect, Matt, right? So the schematic needs to break structure, right? If a schematic fails to break structure, then it's telling you that it didn't have enough interest behind it to push in a new low or a new high. So yeah. Um, yeah. So GJ, same thing, right? I mean, you could see the legs, right? We've made a new high, and now we've made a new high. So this is what's maintaining structure. So it's just a waiting game, you know. You know, if she comes back down into this area, that's where I'll play, or I'm going to play out of here. Can order flow form schematics? What do you mean? Can order flow form a schematic? I don't understand what that means, bro. Yeah. Um, price action that isn't structure. So I'll tell you this, Matt. Like, I don't want. Okay, I will tell you this. So from an with in regards to order flow, it would only be continuations. So reaccumulations or redistributions, right? For a true accumulation or distribution, like a reversal, I need it to happen in the structure point. So perfect example, right? If I'm looking for a buy out of here, an accumulation, it's got to be in what maintains lower time frame structure, or it's got to be in the schematic, right? An accumulation. Here's an example of order flow, right? So like order flow entries, much like we were looking at this morning on AU and EU, right? What do we have? So we have a, well, I guess this is just nonsense in here, but okay. Here's an example, right? So hypothetically, order flow, right? We have this high. Here is an attempted distribution. Here's your creek, right? You have right now you have 1, 2, 3, you have a type 2 being formed right here. If this breaks that high and you wanted to take an entry out of here, that would be a reaccumulation, right? But it's going to be based off of order flow, right? because why? Because we haven't broken any structure to the left. These entries are very high risk. That's why, like this morning's AU and EU buy. That's why I told everybody that, in the group, I was like, I'm taking a reduced risk. I'm not putting full risk, simply because it's not a high probability setup. And most of you guys know, like, you know, up on the top of the list is structure, right? Down here at like number 63 is order flow. You know what I mean? So don't forget, like number 2 is like the moon phases. The number 3 is the magic 8 ball, right? The magic 8 ball. Number 4 is like the Power Rangers ring, right? The Power Rangers ring is what I use to determine what I'm going to do. We'll say like number 12, right? Number 12 is I'm going to ask my dog what I should do, buy or sell. So just remember, order flow is like number 63. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, order flow, I'll tell you right now, order flow is good only when you're in this condition, right? When you're bullish higher time frame, bullish intraday, bullish lower time frame, order flow is bullish, then you play order flow, right? Because until order flow gets broken, you're not going to get to the lower time frame structure point, and you're not going to get to the intraday until lower time frame gets broken. So order flow is great when you're playing continuation moves, but when higher time frame is bullish, intraday is bearish, lower time frame is bearish, and order flow is bullish, why are you looking for a buy? That's I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. For me, I've learned that I need to have all the conditions met for me to play order flow. And if you doubt my I guess analogy to it, then just look at your journal. If your journal is telling you to take order flow entries, take order flow entries. I know exactly what my what my journal tells me, and there's a reason order flow is number 63. So yeah. Cool. Let's see. Wait for the full moon. Exactly, bro. Yeah, there you go, man. Wait for the full moon. The pig, bro. Yeah, don't give me. Well, I don't know if you guys have heard. So we've now have 3 kittens as well in the house. So yeah, the zoo is in full effect, bro. The zoo is in full effect. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, exactly. For me, that's why I'm gonna wait for GJ to come down, because I'm not looking to take order flow entries. I want to take a structure entry, and for me, like, we haven't broken anything. The last point of structure is this right here, right? This is the last point of structure. So what broke that last point of structure? It was this reaccumulation. And what caused that break of structure was this accumulation from here. So however long it takes, right, to come back down, it takes. If we look from this high to where the entry finally came in on the spring, took 17 days, right? So if I gotta wait 3 weeks, I'll wait 3 weeks. It's I don't need to catch a trade every day. I mean, you guys saw the trades I'm in. I've been holding EJ now for going over almost 2 months. I've been holding EJ. Chef JPY has been going on for 5 weeks. EU's been a week. So I don't need to deal with that. Yeah. Bro, look at gold. Ruben's right, man. Look at gold. The guys that waited for gold for how many? I mean, what was that? Like a month and a half? It got to the point where my limit order expired. That's how long we waited for gold. And for those of you that caught it, I mean, you caught an easy, right? Because it was an easy 1 to 100 where we started to really look at taking some massive partials. So yeah, but that's GJ. All right. GU, right? GU, same kind of setup, right? Like currently, this is how I see it, right? So we had higher time frame is still maintained by this. This is what was maintaining higher time frame. We had this push, right? All of this is just noise. It's like intraday order flow. So when we ultimately busted through this intraday right here, we now were bullish higher time frame, bullish intraday, and obviously bullish lower time frame. Well, what's maintaining lower time frame structure? It was this, and now, right now, because I haven't looked at GU in a minute. Now it's this right here. This is what's maintaining lower time frame. Okay. So what do I need to happen? Well, what do we do? Well, we have, let's just look at this, right? We had a we right? This is why I don't counter trend. I don't know how many people were looking at a distribution out of here, right? Everyone saw this distribution and like, oh, we're going to sell it. We're going to sell it. You know, good luck. I'll give you the thumbs up emoji on it. You know what I mean? Good luck with it. I'm not looking for a sell. Ultimately, what do we get? We had a reaccumulation out of here, right? This is the main reaccumulation that I want to see us play out of. So coming out of this, hold on, let me go here. I haven't marked up GU in a minute, so bear with me here. Hold on. Okay, so we have a reaccumulation. All right. So we did break, right? We did break this high. All right. So we did break that high. All right. So if we get an accumulation in here, then I know, like when someone asks me, hey, to take a look at a chart, my first question is always, where are we building the schematic? So if we build a schematic here, it makes sense. It's in the slingshot. I'll take it. If not, I want us to trade down in here into this ugly ass price action, right? Either way, I'm probably going to require a schematic in either point of interest, right? I'm either going to need one in here or I'm going to need one over here. But ultimately, what I would love to happen, right, is I would love for this to get broken, right? This high. Because you know what happens if that high gets broken, right? We have a new higher time frame leg, right? So this will then get moved over to this, right? This will now become what maintains the higher time frame. Okay. And then we can just start resetting. And we know that, well, what caused that break? We would potentially be looking, at this area here as the main point of interest. And then obviously we'd be looking down in here. Okay. So GU, it's pretty simple. Like I'm just waiting on it. I'll be honest, like GU, the last couple of weeks, I haven't caught any moves on it. I mean, you can see like I was waiting here, then I was waiting here, and we just never got an entry off of it. Of course, sadly, she never came into my extreme limit either. But just wait, just wait, be patient, and it'll give you the play. Going into NZD CAD. So NZD CAD kind of takes me off a little bit, just because I've been waiting on this for a while. So long story short, higher time frame. We're in a schematic, right? We're in this long, big old schematic. But what I really wanted to get into was, this is what was maintaining higher time frame right here. This is what's maintaining higher time frame. You could see the accumulation, right? You could see the reaccumulation that mitigates out of the accumulation, right? So I was looking for us to come into this daily, all right? You can see that we do trade into 50% of the daily, right? We do trade into 50% of the daily. I wanted a lower time frame schematic so that I can take a reasonable entry, and no joy, right? She didn't give me anything clean. She did give, right? She did give a schematic in here. Just when it came into entry, it was before I woke up. Like this was like London crossover before New York Open. So if anyone caught this entry, great. If not, like what I'm looking at now is, if we do come back into that area, I'm looking at the 35-minute candle, right? 35-minute candle is what I'm kind of eyeing. I have an alert set up here and I have an alert up here, right? Because one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to trade up above this high, right? If we trade above that high, however we get there is going to be my slingshot, and then this area down here is going to be a point of interest. And if not, if we come lower, I want to take an entry out of here in the form of a schematic. It's not the cleanest, that's why I'm not really, I haven't sent any charts on NZD CAD. There's definitely some better setups than NZD CAD. And you ultimately, just like ECAD, we have this area of redistribution, multiple order attempts here, but ultimately it just failed. So this is where they attempted and they kind of gave up on it. So if we can trade above that, if we can invalidate this, then I'll be on the NZD bandwagon to really take this higher. But until then, I'm just going to be like speculating on what what I want to see happen. And if I don't see exactly that happen, I'm not gonna put risk on. Do I have a course? No, man, I don't have a course. No, man. Sorry. Um, yeah, yeah. NJ. So NJ, the only reason I got NJ on here is because I got AJ that I'm watching. But NJ kind of the same thing. Like look at this, we're just sideways, right? So honestly, like maintains intraday is down here, right? Because we invalidated just from a higher time frame. Let's go up to the 1 hour. So we've achieved a new high, right? We've broken the high up here. So currently this is the leg on the higher time frame. From an intraday perspective, though, right? At this point, well, I won't even say intraday. From a lower time frame perspective, right now, what we have is we have our high that printed in, and this is what's maintaining lower time frame structure. I was looking at an entry out of this slingshot that caused the break. It did come in there. Just it came in a really bad time, came in at market changeover. So what I am personally looking at is you can see I'm looking at the 59 minute. Oh, hold on. I'm looking at the 59 minute. And this is the candle I'm looking at, this 59-minute candle I'm looking at. The reason I didn't set a limit or I'm not like aggressively looking at it is because we didn't make a new high, right? Like I would have liked this to make a new high and then I can play off of it. Until then, all we're doing is noise, right? We're doing that crap. So until we make a new high, we could push in lower or we could push higher. So I'm not in the habit of guessing. I'm just going to focus in on what it's going to do. So, NJ, I do want to see this go higher. I do think it's going to go higher. I just don't know when. So I'll play it, I'll play it safe and I'm just going to be very, very cautious on what we're going to do. What kind of accumulation is NZD CAD? What kind of accumulation? You talking down here? It was a type 1. It was a type 1. What was it? Maybe the 5-minute. Hold on. Maybe let's go 1. If it doesn't make a new high, trade is invalid. Not that it's invalid, just it doesn't allow me to put a limit order. So yeah, it won't allow me to put a limit order in. So NZD CAD, like this portion of it is the type 4, right? But it didn't give me any confirmations for entry. So for me, for the type 4, I would have needed the break of structure, and we never got that. Like we didn't even break this high here. What we did get though, right down in here is the type 1, right? So on the seconds time frame, that's your type 1. Like if we go, let me just see if I could still get to it. Hold on. So if we go, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so here's your type 1 right in here. This is your trading range. This is your STB right here, and then this is your spring. So, you got your 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. And then you get your breaker structure right inside of the schematic. So the type 4 didn't give me any confirmations, but this was the type 1. And then out of that type 1, it also reaccumulated. So coming into right, hold on, let's see. This was your reaccumulation right in here. Yeah, this entire area here is your reaccumulation. But yeah, this was the only entry that I would have been looking at. So, and I mean, you could see this is the line I was looking at right here, and it missed. It missed. So yeah. So we talked about NCAD, NJ, SPX. For those of you guys that trade futures or indices, listen, it's just a waiting game, right? I'm just waiting. We get up here, I'm looking for a distro. I need a distribution, right? Because this can very easily turn into a reaccumulation. So, and I'll tell you right now, like if we do this stupid stuff like this and then come up, I'll tell you right now, it's going to turn into a reaccumulation. So what I need to happen is in the next 2 days, I need us to come up here, come into a distro, right? I need a distro. I need to take that entry right there after we break structure. So, you know, it's all dependent how we get up there. And obviously, if we end up putting in and doing something like this and breaking this high, without a doubt, this is going to be my main focal point to look for the buy up. So, but we are in a valid distribution, right? Difference between a distribution and a reaccumulation. You can't have a reaccumulation without a distro. So trade the distro, react to the reaccumulation. So that's why I'm going to be waiting lower time frame distro in here for confirmation, and then we'll take it off of that. You got it, bro. Have a good one, man. Yeah. And then U30, I ended up hitting break even on 2 buys, but I'm not too bent over it. I took some good profits out of it. Yeah, I mean, right now this is just kind of a mess. So I took some buys out of here, took some buys out of here, caught some break evens, took some partials out of it, but for right now, I'm just going to let it be. I'm more concerned with SPX than US30. So SPX is a cleaner schematic for me. So I'm just going to be patient, wait for it to take the high. And then the last thing I'm looking at is US dollar Swiss franc. So from, I'm looking for the dollar to, keep falling off the end of the earth. And this is the slingshot right in here. If we do trade up in there, I'd be looking for a schematic. If not, I need us to come up into this distribution here. Right. And then I would be at both points, I'm looking for a distro out of it. What do I think about US 100? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't looked at NASDAQ. Just from what I've been seeing on my stocks, I mean, technology's selling off. So it looks like it's coming down. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's coming into the area I wanted it to come into. I've been waiting since the end of March for us to come into this reaccumulation. So, I mean, that's what it's done. We made this high. We made this high. So now, ideally I was looking in here for some buys. Yeah. Later, Matt. Have a good one, bro. Yeah, but I'm personally not trying to trade NASDAQ. To me, this isn't clean. It's not nearly as clean as SPX, right? This is super clean to me, right? And my targets are super clean, right? This is the reaccumulation. I want us to come down into this, or I want us to trade into the bottom of this area here. So I've got clear targets on SPX. I know where I'm selling from. I know where I'm going to look for buys. It's just a matter of just waiting for it. So, yeah. And I want to say that's it. That's pretty much everything that I'm looking for this week. Like I said, I've got my hands full managing these. I'm going to look for continuations on AU, EU, and NU buys. Chef JPY, I'm looking for that continuation buy as well if we come into that lower time frame point of interest. Awesome, man. Yeah. Thank you, man. And that's it. I mean, silver, I'm looking for the buys on gold. Silver obviously is in my opinion, more bullish than gold. And I mean, that's the reason I've been buying physical silver for a very long time. But, you could see that, maintains higher time frame bullishness right here. And this is what's maintaining the intraday. So, ideally I'm looking for this continuation up on silver. There's, it's been sideways, there have been some decent moves. You can see right in here, there is a reaccumulation. So this may be a play for like New York. Let me go 1 hour. Hold on. Yeah. So this is your reaccumulation right in here, right? You've got your distribution right in here, and then there's your creek. So out of your creek, you had an accumulation. You had another accumulation here that mitigated out. So, you know, and then of course you even got this one here. So this is probably, this is your slingshot here, and then this is my MC down here, but on the lower time frame. So no, this actually, hold on. This actually may be something I may look for tomorrow. Hold on. I'm gonna set my alert. Bear with me. Let me just see what happened in here. I mean, I could see the type 1 in there, but let me just see what she did. So ideally, the play is to find this candle, find that full volume candle. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. Oh, wow. 11, 13, 12 might be it. We'll see if I can find something else. 8, 7, 6 minute. Oh, there we go. 5. There she goes. All right. So there's your schematic. So there is our schematic. Let me just mark this out. Give me a sec here. Yeah, like I'm not going to mark out the whole thing, but here's your schematic, right? You've got all right, so there's our spring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the 30-minute look like? 29, 28, nope, 28, 26, 22, 20. Yeah, okay. So 5 is it. All right. So I do like this 5-minute. And she did trade perfectly. So, like, here's your accumulation, right? There's an accumulation right in there. Kind of just walk through this real quick. So we have an accumulation that comes into a reaccumulation. Right, we have a reaccumulation here. And here, we'll just go to the 1 minute, kind of walk you through it. So like the way I see this, we have our accumulation into a reaccumulation. Price then reaccumulates even further, right? This is the shakeout that mitigates out of the fractal accumulation right here, right? So if we go, let's see, what's that 15-second look like? So 15-second, what's the 5-second? So imbalance is right here. 15-second. So 50%, this 15-second is probably where she came into. Is that where it came into, or did it come into 80? Let's just see. Yeah, but here's your, ultimately we have our creek, right? We have our creek, comes in here, break a structure. So once we broke this high, once we broke that high, it confirmed the reaccumulation. Let's just see, does it come into there? All right, so you have an attempted distribution, right? Out of nowhere. It's in no man's land. Son of a gun, bro. Right into 50%, bro. Right into 50%. Well, all right. So there was one trade that we missed. Okay, so that tells me that this has been mitigated. So now we have, so where are we at? Let's just see. All right, so question is, did we mitigate out of here? So what candle created this? Let's go 10. Let's walk it down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Where is she at? Come on, where are you at? 3, 2, 1. Where are you? Oh man, she's gonna be difficult today. 25, 26. What's the 45? 42. Yeah, okay. I can't find it, but no biggie. All right, so yeah, either way, this is where I want to play out of. This is where I want to play out of here. So that 5 minute, it's just a matter of now seeing where she's going to come into. Let's just go here. Let's find out if there's some confluence. And I'm glad I looked at silver now because I do like silver as well. I want to move this over to my primary. So we have 50% of the 5 minute. 50% of the 5 minute, and then 80% of the 5 minute. We'll see where we can find some confluence with that. And just so I can have that, that was 50% of the 15 second. Let me just screenshot this from my journal. All right, now let's walk it down. 4 minute, 3 minute, nothing. 2 minute, nope. 1 minute. Where does this line up? So do we have confluence on this 1 minute? No real confluence. What's a 30-second look like? 30-second. What about the 15-second? Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be one of those. I think I might just split the risk. I'll probably just split the risk on it, and we'll take it from there. Yeah. Yeah, this is something I definitely like. I like that. I like that entry out of there. But again, I'll also entertain an entry out of here. Right? If we see an accumulation in here, that's going to be my first point of interest. And honestly, it's because we broke that high. So this is like the slingshot area for me right here. And then this is going to be the extreme mitigation that I would need down here. So yeah, I like that. I like how that played out. All right. So that's pretty much what I got. That's what I'm looking at for the week. You know, gold and silver buys if they do come into the areas, that's where I'm going to be looking. So, and we'll go from there. If anyone else has anything else to look at, throw it in now. But if not, you know, I'm going to call it a night. So, all right, bro, have a good one, man. Yeah. I know. I'm gonna open up MT5 right now. I'll set it. As soon as I get off this call, I'm gonna set it. So, awesome, guys. Well, listen. If there's no other questions, if there's nothing else, I'll bid everybody adieu. I'll catch you guys later, and we'll go from there, man. So cool. Very nice. Thanks for jumping on. And hold on, as soon as my MT5 gets off of the shenanigans. Yeah, perfect, guys. Awesome. Yeah, I'll put the recording on YouTube as soon as it's done uploading. So absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Perfect. All right, guys. Have a good one.